I think we live. I think we are live. Check, check. Hope y'all can hear me. Another fantastic Raiders game. Another fantastic performance from the Raiders. You know what? We love to see it. We love to see it. Let's see who we got in here right now. I think it's got my dog LS in here right now. Letting y'all know, make sure y'all tap in, hit the like button. If you haven't done so already, hit the subscribe button. I'm trying this vertical thing. I think you tap twice on the screen to like it. If not, there's three little dots at the top. You can hit that to like the video as well. Got to see Gino got jokes in the post game presser. He must win the top three pick. I mean, honest with you, I don't watch none of the post game pressers, bro. I don't watch none of the post. What's the point, bro? I ain't watch none of the post game pressers. I want to hear Gino make excuses. I want to hear Pete Carroll's excuses. I probably won't watch them tomorrow either, or whenever they have them. Probably tomorrow and Wednesday. I'm not gonna watch those either. I mean, at this point, man, I see it with my own two eyes, man. Like people have gotten to the point where they're easily like fooled, or it's like some mirage. Like people are still holding on to this thought that, like, man, if we just give Aston Genty 15 more carries, he's gonna be Bijan. Like, bro, it's not happening. It's not happening, bro. It's not happening for him. We gave him opportunities today. Didn't give him as many run in the run game, but the Cowboys were sitting on the run. That's why we ran so much play action and had success, and we're getting big chunk plays off of play action because they were expecting us to try to run the ball. Because, first of all, they've been one of the worst run defenses in the league, and because obviously, like we want to run Aston Genty after hearing all week about us not running them last week. So the expectation in their game plan, I'm sure, was they're going to run the ball. There's two things they were expecting us to do, I'm sure. The first was to run the ball Aston Genty. The other one was force feed the ball to Brock Bowers. We still felt force fed the ball to Brock Bowers. Genty had one successful run, but other than that, he was shut down. I mean, I think you tried an outside run, got a 3-yard loss, tried another run, is another loss. It was just all bad, man. Shout out to my dog Franklin Skinner. These pressers, bro. It's just all propaganda, bro. I'm seeing it with my own two eyes, man. I'm seeing Pete Carroll looking like trash, Chip Kelly looking like trash, Gino looking like trash. Ashton Genty is a jag. He's just a regular ass running back. Like people, that's the thing, bro. Y'all people see the problem with our roster, and it happens in multiple places that people come in with these inflated expectations. They come in with these, and so when a person doesn't meet those expectations, or they play favorites. So when a person doesn't meet those expectations, like I came into the season thinking, like, man, Michael Mayer's about to have a breakout season. He's gonna have a breakout season. He's finally healthy. He looks happy. He's motivated. He's the new coaching staff. He's talking about how much they believed in him. And then I realized very quickly, you know what? I was dead ass wrong. Michael Mayer's just a regular ass player. He's just like, he ain't a difference maker. He's just a regular run-of-the-mill tight end. Can it be a starter level player? Yeah, sure. But he's not a difference maker, and that's what I was expecting out of him. And he's just not that. He's just not that. And people came into this season, but because of his draft position, because of the hype around him, Aston Genty, he's about to do this. He's about to be offensive rookie of the year and do all this. And guess what? I realized quickly, just watching him in college. I didn't need to see the NFL stuff. Just watching him in college. Like, bro, he's a good running back. He's a good running back. He's not elite. He's not special. He's not generational. He's just good. And when you're just good, you need everything else around you to be good as well. But know what happens is that, like, people want it both ways. And that's what I realized really, really quickly. I realized early in the season, like, First off, it was like excuses in the preseason. Oh, it's just preseason game. It's only 3 carries. It don't make it. It's this and it's that. So when it wasn't preseason anymore and it was regular season, it's come on, man. You guys expect. It's one thing or another. Or obviously they were just using Genty as a decoy, and you can't judge him off of one game. And then he has a big game in Chicago. It's like, oh man, I'm gonna judge him off this one game. He's the best. He's the rookie of the year. We should see what I'm talking about, Severe. So you were dead wrong. I'm judging him off of one game now. And then he didn't have another good game since. Nothing good. And it's always excuses. Always, oh, man, we need to run Aston Genty more. And then when he gets the ball and he isn't productive, like, how you expect him to run behind this line? Like, bro, you can't have it both ways. You can't tell me that you expect us to give him the ball more, but you don't expect him to be productive when he gets the ball because the line isn't good. Like, make that make sense. Make that make sense. Think about that in your head. You want to do something that isn't productive for the sake of doing it just to justify the selection. I don't know, like what is it right there? Because you can't say that he's not productive because of the line, but then on the flip side say we have to give him the ball more. But if he's not productive because of the line, then why should we keep do we just keep feeding the ball and not letting him be productive? Because the line ain't getting no better. It's just only getting worse. And so what do you do in that situation? You have to do something else. And we tried other things. We tried throwing him the passes. He dropped 2 of them. Then there's another pass. He was him one-on-one on the outside with the corner, and he ducked out of bounds. And, it's like he had another swing pass. He got tackled by a corner. It's just not working. It's not working because he's just a guy. He's a good NFL running back. He's David Montgomery. He's David Montgomery. And if he has a good offensive line and a really good play caller, he could be a very productive player. But if you expect him to make things happen himself, guess what? You're going to get performances like this, where he has 6 carries for 7 yards, right? The number one instinct as a running back, when we give you the ball, when we're backed up against our own goal line, is your only job is to get forward and give us some space, because we are trying to create more space so we aren't either punting and our punter has his heels on the back of the end zone, or give us some room so we can run some plays. You don't stop your feet in that situation. If you see a guy bearing down on you, you dive, you submarine, and you dive forward. That's like basic instinct type stuff. That's just smart, high IQ football. Like, not even high IQ football. That's like average IQ football. Like, I shouldn't stop my feet in the end zone because I'm not a Barry Sanders guy, right? I'm not Charlie Garner. I'm not LaShawn McCoy. I'm not Brian Westbrook. I'm not about to shake these guys and make up. No, bro. Submarine forward. Just get the ball past the goal line. Number one job. Number one. He couldn't do that, right? And look, do I blame Chip Kelly for running the ball right there? I mean, I'd prefer we just run a quarterback sneak. I prefer we just get up there, run a quarterback sneak, try to push the power forward. But everybody's been just calling for him to get the ball, so we give him the ball, and you say, "Oh, we shouldn't have done that." So it's like people want it both ways, right? Play calling not good. Play calling not good, but the production and the execution of those plays ain't good either. Because there's been opportunities there in both in the pass game and in the run game. And we're not executing on any of them, right? Geno's not executing on them. We're not being diverse enough in our play calling. We don't really have a whole bunch. We have one playmaker on offense, and that's Brock Bowers. And once they start sitting on that, it was a wrap for us. It was done. It was like once they start sitting on Brock, it was game over. Game, set, match. They didn't figure this out. You got me. I'm had, right? Like, hands up. It's done. It's a wrap. It's finished because we have nobody else. We literally have no other playmaker on that offense. It's terrible. It's terrible. Let's see. Well, I'm behind in the chat. Your kids aren't doing well at school. Yeah, man. Geno Smith being sarcastic, bro. Like, I mean, it's partly your fault. It's partly your fault. Even Geno said, like he said something about people are open or something like that. Like, bro, like, what? Like, bro, like this sounds like that old Derek Carr nonsense. Oh, you just put it on me. Just put it on me. But it's not genuine, bro. It's not legitimate. It's not, him taking ownership over his performance. It's him, still trying to deflect the blame, in my opinion. Or, it's him. You can tell he wants to say, bro, this line ain't blocking for me. You can tell he wants to say, I have no weapons on the outside that are consistently getting open or that are making plays for me. He say, like, I have nobody in the run game that's going to consistently produce for me. You can tell he wants to say those things to deflect, but he's playing so badly that he can't. So when you're playing as badly as he is, you can't blame anybody else. You can't blame the play calling, even if the play calling leaves much to be desired. You can't blame the weapons on the outside, even though they leave something to be desired. You can't blame the offensive line, even though they've been terrible, because you're not making good decisions yourself. You're not throwing accurate passes yourself. So you can't get up there and be like, and try to point somewhere else because everybody's pointing it back at you. Like that, what's the old saying? Like when you point a finger at somebody, you got three pointing back at yourself, and that's Geno Smith, bro. Like he got millions of fingers pointing at him, so he can't point the finger anywhere else, and he knows that at this point. So many things to say. The most important thing is we get the innovative coach and let them build it for you. But if who would want to come here? Who would realistically want to come here, bro? Like at this point, like why would anybody want to come here? It's not an enticing job. It's not an enticing job. It's just not, man. Hopefully a high pick, having lots of cap space, that will be able to attract somebody. But and no state income tax, obviously. And the Raiders got a beautiful stadium. They got Tom Brady. They got an owner that's willing to pay as much money as it takes to get it done. But just history and track record, man. It's like, what's the name of that? What's the name of that house? The Amityville house. That's the Raiders organization. We're the Amityville house. Like the last family that was here, the husband went crazy and wiped everybody out. And the family before that too, but we're selling it for super cheap. You guys want to move in? Like, nah, I'm all right. You know what? I'm good. I'll pass. There's a nice condo in downtown. I think I'll look at that. Right? Like, I'm not doing this, bro. I've seen this movie before, twice. Amityville Horror 1 and 2. Like, I don't need to see it again. I'm not going to be the victim in y'all horror movie. I'm cool. I'm good off of that, right? And we see it now because, especially like our fan base turns on coaches quickly, and and players like Geno Smith and sometimes it's like Geno Smith, he kind of deserved it, but like everybody hyped up AP to get the job. I was one of the few people that said I wouldn't do it, and it wasn't until he won the Chiefs game where it's like, damn, you have to do it. At this point, you kind of got to do it. Like you got to do it. We won the game where our quarterback didn't complete a pass for three quarters. We can run a game where Zamir White is going crazy. Like we scored 2 defensive touchdowns. Like our defense has been playing number 1 since he became the head coach. Him and Patrick Graham have a great relationship. Like you got to do it. Like that was kind of me. But I said you got to do it at that point with the thought in my mind that if you do it, you have to understand there are going to be growing pains. Like you can't just abort mission midway through, right? You got to kind of see it through or give it enough time for it to come to fruition. And if you don't see any progress after maybe year 2 at least, right? If you get the first year, okay, rookie head coach. The second year, if you don't see any progress at that point, okay, then it's time to, have a conversation about this, right? Still, maybe you don't pull the trigger just yet, but then you at least start to have the conversation. But we didn't even give it the full second year. And we did that after not giving the other guy the full second year. And we already don't want to give this guy the full second year. So it's like, bro, we can't keep doing this cycle because we see it. Other teams are able to build a roster and build depth. And they can have a next man up mentality because they've been building some depth for 2 or 3 years where they have guys on the bench that, hey, they aren't maybe starter level players, but they can come in and they can hold the line. They can hold the line and they can carry water for us until our guy gets back, right? It ain't gonna be a plus level player, but they're good enough to get us by until that guy gets back. We haven't even developed that yet, right? Because we've been changing regimes so much, and we've been drafting pretty poorly too. Like Tyree. Perfect example of Tyree. People last year were telling me the same stuff people was telling me about Genty. Similarly, same stuff they're telling me about Tyree. It's like, oh man, you gotta give him more time. Give him more time. He coming from Texas Tech. You gotta give him more time. He was injured. You give him more time. Oh, it's this and that. Oh, the Raiders they moving him and they need to play him inside. You need to play him inside, man. He's good. It's just if a guy doesn't have the necessary skills or the requisite athleticism, it shows up quickly. It shows up quickly. And both of those guys suffer from that. Where Tyree, he's way worse than Genty. Like Tyree is a bad player. Genty is good. He's just not elite or special. He's a good player. If you do the necessary things around him, he can be good. But I don't draft good players in the first round. I'm looking for, especially a running back. I don't draft good running backs in the first round. You can find good running backs in UDFAs. I'm drafting special game changer, build my entire offense around you type of players. And he's not that. And if he was that, then we wouldn't be making excuses for him right now saying everything around him has to do well in order for him to do well. He would make everybody else look better in their roles, and he hasn't. He hasn't. Spike Tech, why not just be honest and say rebuild in July? Spike Tech, I mean, he can't say that. He can't say that because that's not what was sold to the fans. That, you know, Pete Carroll spent this entire offseason, and I said people early on, he's a liar. Pete Carroll's a straight up liar. After I saw the Napa thing, I knew he was a liar. It was another situation. I forgot what it was, but it was a few situations where I was like, yeah, this dude, he's just up here straight line. He's just like telling like just bald faced lies. And people are, oh, you're a hater, severe, and yada, and all that stuff. I was like, cool, I'll take that. Well, let's see what he does. Let's see what he does. And then we just see how he continues to lie. He talks about him playing young guys, and he talked about Caleb Rogers possibly playing. Obviously, Caleb Rogers was inactive today. Then the whole JPJ thing with him and Kappa and Meredith, a whole switcheroo with him and Meredith, and then the whole competition with him and Kappa. Like, we see that this guy is just he's a fraud at this point, bro. He's living off his past, and like bro, hey. Power to you, man. You built one of the best defenses ever, one of the most recognizable teams ever. People are going to forever talk about that Legion of Boom team, right? That's going to go down in the annals of NFL history. People are going to remember that team, remember what they did, how they won the Super Bowl. They also remember how they should have won 2, if not for your decisions. But they'll talk about that a little bit less so, because they'll remember just how great that defense was back then. It was great back then, bro. You can't try to do that again today, right? Like you can't do it. Like what is it like? Like, it would be like, I was gonna put it in rap terms, but like, I think a lot of people on here listen to rock. So it's like, it'd be like I don't know, like back in the day, like it was real cool when guitar players would do that, like Eddie Van Halen type stuff. Bro, if somebody did that today, you're like, what kind of corny, what corny stuff is this? Nobody does that anymore. Nobody does that stuff. Like get that out of here, bro. That's 80s stuff, right? That's like hair bands type. Like, go somewhere with that nonsense. Like, no, that's not. It doesn't work anymore. Back then, you can make legendary hits with doing that kind of stuff. Your guitar solos, like the Beat It solo with him doing it, like bro, it's legendary, right? Like, but if you do that today, people will laugh you off stage, like, because it's not in anymore. Like, it just doesn't work. And that's what we're trying to do, that same stuff that they were doing back then. And the NFL has evolved, and they've caught up to you, and they figured it out. And that's why George Pickens was doing the Caillou Blue Kelly, what every team this year has done to the Raiders, right? Like, it was I was like, my God, I damn near called 911. Like, my God, 911, I'm witnessing a crime on TV. I don't know what kind of crime it is, but this can't be legal. This cannot be legal. What I am seeing this grown man do to another grown man on my television set, it has to be at least a misdemeanor. Something illegal here is going on, because this can't, there is a statute, a law, a regulation. There's something wrong with this picture that I'm seeing. Like, this can't be, this cannot happen. This cannot happen. And it happened all game. And I was like, what are we doing with this Caillou Blue Kelly nonsense? Why is he still on the field? Man, let me get to these comments, man. I'm gonna be ranting all day. Yeah, man, Michael Mayer, and like I said, man, I'm asked Chris from Protect the Shield, bro. I've been saying I've been a Michael Mayer guy. He's hated Michael Mayer, like, since we drafted him, and I've been a Michael Mayer defender. Like, man, what are you talking about? He's a plus tight end. He has the potential to be a top 15 tight end in the league. Like, he's a good. Nah, I'm done. I can't defend anymore. Like, I can't say the coaching staff anymore. I can't say he's healthy anymore. I can't say he's just a guy. He's just a guy, bro. He's a average level tight end in the league, if that, right? Maybe even less than that. But he's like an average level tight end in the league, and like, it just is what it is, man. Like, you got to call a spade, man. I can't keep defending a guy that's not producing. I'm not like these other people that's going to be, No, what are you talking about? That's what I'm saying. Like, bro, after this performance, fire Chip Kelly, bro. Something has to change. Something has to change. Actually, I don't want to win any more games. So if the dynamic, whatever power struggle is happening, or if there even is a power struggle, so I just think Pete Carroll just has basically full control over this team. But something has to change, right? And I don't think Patrick Graham will be the person to get fired after this. You almost got to fire Chip Kelly. Like you can't keep the status quo. If you're Pete Carroll, you can't walk out there and after this embarrassment, the second game this year where a team has kneeled before the 2-minute warning, bro, they kneeled in our red zone. It was like goal to go. They were within the 10-yard line kneeling. That was the most disrespectful thing I've ever seen in my life, bro. That is the most disrespectful. Know what that reminds me of? Know what that reminds me of? There's one time it was like a Kevin Durant commercial where he's like, or I think it was Kevin, or it might have been Kevin Garnett. Those were my two favorite players at one point. Might have been, I think it was Kevin Garnett. He was playing one-on-one with the kid. I think at first, like, he ties one hand behind his back. Or he's playing the kid, then he swats the kid with his right hand. He ties his hand behind his back, then he swats the kid with his left hand. Then he, then he still like defends the kid and doesn't let him shoot, doesn't let him score. And then at that point, like, he has both hands tied behind his back, both legs tied, and the kid shoots, wide ass open. And Kevin Garnett is just like, I hope you miss. And the kid misses. And that's the level of disrespect that they gave us when they started kneeling in our goal to go situation. It's like, bro, I disrespect you so much that I can tie both my hands behind my back, tie my legs together, just say, I hope you miss. And I know you're not going to do a damn thing. And that's just the Raiders at this point. It's just a complete embarrassment. And then we had the gall, the nerve to kick an onside kick after a safety. That was sickening. That was sickening. I damn near projectile vomited when I saw that. I was like, what is this? We're trying to go for an onside kick after a safety. I had never seen that before ever. I didn't even know you could do that. I didn't know that was in the NFL rules. I didn't know that was in the rule book. When I saw Pete Carroll go up to the guy, I was like, what are you doing? What are you talking about, bro? You hope you're not asking for like a review or nothing on this, because it's clearly a safety. And then they were like, oh, he's going for an onside kick. I was like, my God. Yeah, but it's not even about the height, bro, because there's been short running backs. Like, Ward Dunn was a short guy that was very productive. Darren Sproles, short guy, productive. Like, there's been plenty of short guys that have been productive. Bucky Irvin is a super short guy. He's productive. It's not even about his height, bro. It's just like it's a certain level of athleticism that's just not there. It's just not there. And that's what's going to keep him from ever being an elite back. Like I said, he can be a good back. I think his vision is improving. I think he's kind of seeing things a little bit better. I think he's kind of pressing the holes and setting up blocks a little bit better. But it's just a level of athleticism that isn't there. Vision is still semi-inconsistent. Obviously, he still struggles in pass pro. That's maybe a little bit where the height kind of shows up, or the just the how big he is. That can cause some issues there. But there's plenty of short running backs that are productive, man. He's just not it, bro. He's just a good player. That's his ceiling. His ceiling is a good player. He's David Montgomery. Oh man. Oh my God, bro. Myles Garrett will break the single sack game record next week, which would, bro. It's going to be bad, bro. He just put a 4 last week against the Ravens. Oh my God, he's seeing Stone Forsythe. Oh my God. The things that he is going to do to. Oh my God, I'm having 911 on speed dial again, bro. I gotta have 911 on speed dial again. Sit him, say that man, cry. Genty. I mean, you can save him, bro. You can save him if you want to. What you saving him from? I mean, just he extra medium, bro. He's just an extra medium ass player. Like, you saving him from regular to he's gonna be regular. He's gonna be regular ass when he get out. Like, he's just gonna be a regular dude. He's gonna be regular now. He's gonna be regular when you get done saving him. He's just regular, and that's what he's gonna continue to be, bro. That's what he's gonna continue to be, bro. He didn't even try to make him miss. Bro, that's what I'm saying, bro. It was disgusting, bro. That pissed me off. That more than anything, bro, because Everybody keeps saying this. Oh man, you got to get Genty in space. You get him in space, man. Give him some opportunities in space. All right, cool. He got an opportunity in space. Let's see what he does. Bro didn't even try to make a miss. Didn't lower his shoulder. Didn't do anything, bro. He just ducked out of bounds. It's like, what, bro? You're the break tackle guy. You're the contact balance guy. Like, yeah, I can't draft the guy that they can't tackle guy, right? Remember you wrote the letter, draft the guy they can't tackle, bro. You tackled yourself. Like you ran out of bounds, bro. Like what is this? What nonsense is this? Bro, I don't want to hear these excuses, bro. I'm going to hear them. I know I'm going to hear, bro. If you got excuses for this dude, bro, slap you. Look in the mirror. Look yourself dead in the mirror. Just slap yourself. Stop making these excuses, bro. Like it's done. It's no more excuses. Like it's no excuses for Pete, no excuses for Chip, no excuses for Gino, no excuses for Genty, bro. No, I have no excuses for any of these people. No excuses for any of these people. And stop making excuses for all of them, bro. They can all go tomorrow. They can all go tomorrow, right? They can all go tomorrow. Man, I miss Jacobs too, bro. I miss Jacobs too. And like, as I said, bro, I was one of the people that I was against paying Jacobs. I said I did not want to pay Jacobs because I don't pay running backs, right? I've held firm on that. But if I knew we were going to just not pay Jacobs and then draft a running back at 6 and pay him the second most guaranteed money in the league at running back behind only Saquon Barkley, I would have said, yo, at that point, just keep Jacobs. It doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. Yeah, 3 yards would have been enough, bro. Like in that situation, bro, you gotta. It's basic football stuff, bro. It's just basic. It's basic football, man. Like it's no excuses, bro. And that's what people always. What do you expect him to do? I expect him to not get tackled in the end zone, bro. I expect him to not stop your feet and try to juke a guy in your own effing end zone. That's what I expect a smart player to do. Like, so if you're telling me that Genty's not a smart player, okay, I'll let you win that argument. But I don't think he's stupid. I think he has a high enough IQ to know what he has to do there. But the thing is that in Genty's mind, he thinks he's better than he is, or think he's more athletic than he is. Bro, it comes a point in time you have to realize what you are as a player. And I don't know. I guess he hasn't had that welcome to the NFL moment yet. But bro, you got to figure this out quick, bro. You got to know you got the most important part as a player is to know your strength and know your weaknesses. You got to know this ain't my game. This is not my game. All right. My game is get downhill, get forward. I can weave and bob. I got great feet. I got great feet when it comes to, hey, bobbing and weaving and navigating these lanes. Hey, that's what I'm gonna do, right? Or just at that point, just get the ball out of the end zone, bro. Don't just live to see another play. Just live to see another play. Should have hard counted. I mean, but we'll mess around. Like knowing us, we'll mess around. We'll mess around and get a penalty. And then instead of, we already had a penalty to play before that, right? I think we had a penalty to play before that. That's what backed us up. So we'll go for the 1 yard line to the half-yard line off a false start because somebody doesn't pay attention to the hard count and they'll jump offside. So it's like we would have hard counted. We most likely would have put us in a worse position than we were already in. And like these guys ain't like a hard count only works if the defense feels they have to get a jump on guys to win. Like Quinn Williams and Kenny Clark wasn't worried about getting no jump on Will Putnam or Meredith, bro. They wasn't worried. Like they just gonna dominate them physically. Like they're not worried about trying to get a jump on those dudes. They've been whipping their ass all night long. It's like if you flinch at somebody and they like back up. Like that only happens if the person actually thinks you're going to hit them. Like if they know that they ain't got shit to worry about, so they're not flinching. They just standing there waiting for you to move so they can whip your ass and get to the backfield. And that's just what it was all night. Just them getting their ass whipped and getting to the backfield. And that's what it's going to be next week too. That's what it's going to be next week too. And it's going to be, oh my God. Miles, somebody, yeah, you said it earlier, bro. Myles Garrett, bro. Myles Garrett. Oh man. I know what we about to do, man. No, I don't know what we got to do, man. I don't know what we're going to do. Amityville Horror is a good reference. The issue isn't the house though. It's what's haunting the house. But man, hey, you can say he's been the common denominator. He's been the common denominator through all of this. He's been the common denominator. And I've been the guy, hey, I defend Mark Davis just because if you look at the qualities you want in an owner. The qualities you want in an owner, you want an owner that loves the team. Mark Davis checks that box. You want an owner that's good, is a good businessman, makes good deals. Mark Davis checks that box. You want an owner that's not just using this team as like their personal piggy bank and, they don't care about the success of the team. No, Mark Davis checks that box. You want an owner that's willing to spare any expense for the good of the team, Mark Davis checks that box as well, right? He checks all those boxes as well. The issue with Mark Davis is that Mark Davis is too attached. Mark Davis is a fan. Mark Davis is running the Raiders like in terms of like, his coaching decisions and ownership decisions and all this. I mean, front office decisions. He's running the Raiders like a fan would run the Raiders, right? He's too fansy, and you see it, and he's too often manipulated by the fans or by the fan sentiment. We saw it. Perfect example was Josh McDaniels, right? Was a week and a half before he fired Josh McDaniels. He was being yelled at by a fan, and he was telling the fan to smarten up. And then like a week and a half later, you fired a guy. Like, you were just telling the fan he needs to smarten up in defense of Josh McDaniels. And then a week later, you fired a man. Like, bro, like that's what I'm saying. You're too easily influenced by fan sentiment. At that point, man, you got to understand, you can't make everybody happy. You can't make everybody happy. And trying to make everybody happy, you're trying to make every fan happy, that's going to just hurt you in the long run. And that's where we are right now, right? That's where we are right now. We've been going through coaches because we hired, we got rid of Josh McDaniels because of fans. We hired AP because of the fans. We conceivably fired him because fans turned on him. And then, obviously we tried to get Ben Johnson. That fell through. We went with Pete Carroll. There's a wave of fan support for that. And now that's the fans are turning on him. And we'll see what happens here. We'll see what happens here. But the difference between previous guys and Pete Carroll is there is like no light at the end of the tunnel with Pete Carroll. He's 74 years old. He'll be 75 at the start of next season. Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? He's the oldest coach at the time of his hiring ever hired in North American sports. Like what are we doing here? What are we really doing here, man? So it's. And then I said that when we first hired him, that this was a no-win hire. If he's the best you've ever seen, he's just Vince Lombardi reincarnated, right? He's the best coach ever. If we don't win the Super Bowl in the first 3 years, then it was a complete waste because he's going to be gone in those 3 years because he ain't going to be coaching at 77, 78 years old. I don't see that happening. And then if he's bad, then you're effed. You are screwed because then you have to make the decision: do you fire another coach this early? Because like there's no potential there, right? Like there's no juice left to squeeze there, bro. That motherfucker's been juiced like a mug, right? Like they've been squeezing that motherfucker for years. Like there's no potential left to tap. There's no new tricks he's gonna learn. It's like, nah, bro. It's a wrap for him. He is who he is. So at this point, like you're not expecting him to get any better or do any better because he just is what he is. And he has been. And Seattle recognized that quick enough. And they cut ties in the most respectable way possible. Where, hey, we're not firing you. We're just moving you to they just moved him to another area of the facility, transitioning you to another role. They basically just put him in a home. They basically is the NFL version of putting him in a home. He's in some office counting paper clips and stacking papers and typing on a typewriter or something like that. He gotta be just typing on a typewriter. It's like he's just somewhere doing busy work. Just out the way. Just out the way, no real control. He's a consultant, advisor. Well, what do you Pete Carroll, what do you think about this, Pete? Okay, thank you for that. Thank you for your input, sir. Send me an email or, hey, send me a telegram. Send me a telegram, Pete. Send a telegram. I'll get it next week. Right? And that's what it was. And now, since they've done that, guess what? They're one of the better teams in the league. After they get rid of Pete and Gino. But after they get rid of Pete, like Seattle is so good that Sam Darnold threw 4 interceptions. And they still only lost by 2 points against one of the better teams in the league. Like, that's how good they are. And so it's not on no fluky type stuff, right? That's how good they are defensively. They can withstand that kind of storm. So they're just well constructed, man. JSN is just a monster. Zach Charbonnet and Walker, they're both pretty good backs. Both drafted after the first round, right? It's like they just did things right, man. They got a really good defense, man. Like Mike McDonald is a heck of a coach, man. You know, I think came from Baltimore. Like they just did things the right way, man. And we've done things the wrong way. Unfortunately, we've done things the wrong way. Say Mark Davis on TV surrounded by strippers. Man, it's hey, live it up, Mark. Live it up. And Mark, people wanted Mark to wash his hands of the team. He's been hands off. I think, you know, like for as much as Tom Brady wants to act like he wasn't a person that was involved heavily with this team, he was involved heavily with all these decisions, bro. He was flying back and forth to Vegas secretly. So that's how you know, like if you're not worried about it, why are you doing it secretly? Why are you doing these secret meetings? Like when they were trying to figure out the quarterback, they were trying to go over the draft stuff. They were all having meetings at the facility. Tom Brady was an integral part of those meetings. So he was involved in all of this stuff, bro. So he wants to act like he's not doing anything. Nah, bro. That he is. Bro, like some people can't handle the truth, bro. Some people can't handle the truth. Like I trust my eyes, bro. You can trust your eyes. Trust your eyes. If that's what you see something different, hey, that's on you, brother. I've seen it. I've seen it enough. So like we can keep going doing this every week saying, oh, it's not Genty. It's not Genty. At what point, at what point do we say it isn't? Or what point do we say he has to get better? Or what point do we say, you know what? If you're drafted 6th overall at running back, I'm expecting you to overcome some adversity. I'm expecting you to make some of your own plays. I'm expecting you to do what Travion did last week, where there's a guy bearing down on him in the backfield. He faked outside, went inside, broke 2 tackles, scored a touchdown. I'm expecting at least that, right? And that's the guy that was drafted in the 2nd round. That was 3rd stringer for most of the year. And now we saying, oh, we're not expecting our top 10 pick at running back to do that. Like I said, it's just excuses, bro. Like at some point, bro, the rubber got to meet the road. At some point, the rubber got to meet the road. Look at the safety in the game today. Come on, Lonnie Johnson. I know Palomar got beat bad one time, and it was, you know, it's it cost us a touchdown. As our safety play, it leaves much to be desired. Chin was out there. Like after one play, I think I think CD caught a pass. Chin was out there, John. Like, bro, we getting our ass kicked, bro. Why you out here talking trash? Like, bro, take your ass back to the huddle. Get back out there and make a play before you get out there talking trash, bro. We getting whipped on, bro. This is not the time for you to be like, you know, huffing and puffing and acting all tough, bro. Go out there and do something. Like cause a turnover. Like get a TFL. Like do something like that before you get out there, John, bro. It's like I don't want this fake tough guy stuff, bro. Like make a play. Like I'd rather you act tough and try to intimidate somebody. Hey, make a play. Just make a play. Pete only had 3 years anyway. That's why this is a terrible pick. I said we would be in this spot if he did change things year 1, and we didn't really have the players to make that change in year 1. Yeah, that's the problem, bro. Like Pete Carroll is an obvious win now coach, and we were never in a win now position, and that's what keeps happening, bro. We keep thinking we're like, oh man, you know, we've been 1 year away from being 1 year away for 20 years, right? We keep doing this thing where, oh man, we just get up. It's a good off season, and we do this and do that. Like, you know, sometimes the magic happens for you guys, and you catch lightning in the bottle, and you can be a Commanders or Texans, or you know, you can be one of those teams that turn around, or you know, see Seattle's doing it. Be a team that kind of turns it around in a year. But I don't see it happening. And Seattle actually is taking 2 years now because they kind of started the turn last year, and now they've completed the turn this year. And you know, sometimes that can happen for you, but I don't think we're in position to do that. If you look at this roster, look at the age of the roster, look at the turnover that's going to likely happen on this roster, because we have a lot of guys in key spots either on the last year of their deal or we signed them to 1 year deals this offseason. So, you know, look at some of the guys who let go, man. Prime example is Caleb Von Chason. Like that guy's with New England killing it. Like why on a $3 million deal? Like why didn't we bring that guy back, right? I was always an advocate of bringing back Malcolm Kuntz, right? Always an advocate. I'm not mad at that move just because of what people thought he was going to be before he got hurt. You almost got to bring him back. But at the same time, it's like, okay, I can bring him back at $11 million and still keep Caleb on at $3 million. That doesn't really hurt you. You can keep him basically. I think that's like the vet minimum due to his tenure in the NFL, like for him as an NFL player. So like you can do something like that for him. Like it's not cost prohibitive. So why didn't you do it? Right? There's a guy that you saw was obviously productive. Like make that move, bro. Instead, we got Tyree Wilson and we got Charles Snowden out there trying to be, our other DN, and it's just nasty. And like if people, I know I already hear the people. I think Tyree had a TFL, and guess what? Guess why Tyree got the TFL? If you watch any of my shows, you kind of know why Tyree got that TFL, because when under these certain circumstances, Tyree's one of the best players in the league, and that's unblocked Tyree. Unblocked Tyree. Genty over for Jersey. Man, I don't even know, because I wasn't even a big Mimble guy, just because he was a late riser. Like those guys kind of scare me. It's like, he was considered, hey, you know what, a fringe first round pick, late first, early second round guy. And then he just then he was moving up boards, and then he just shot up boards after the combine. That scares me. It always scares me. I'm like, oh, I don't know about this. I like Calvin Banks. I like Calvin Banks. Also like Josh Simmons. I was dead ass wrong about Josh. I mean, I was dead ass wrong about Josh Simmons as a person. Josh Simmons as a player, he's a baller. But just we see what happened with him early in the season, where he kind of stepped away from the team and he was having some issues. So that would have been, me. If I advocated for that and we did it, I'd have had to apologize to the entire Raider Nation, just because I think he's a hell of a player. But at no point did I anticipate whatever issues he had going on happening. So that would have been a rough one. But I prefer Calvin Banks over Mimble. But at this point, if they went Mimble, bro, like I wouldn't have been mad at that. I wouldn't have been mad at that, just for the simple fact that the trenches, man, the trenches are going to make everything else happen for you. And that's kind of, that's what Harbaugh was doing. He started off with the trenches, and like before he started addressing the skill positions, right? He got Joe Alt, and he got, he already has Rashawn Slater out there, who actually he got hurt. And they had, previously before him, they had Zion Johnson. Like they have been addressing trenches for a while. So like I wouldn't have been, like I said, I wouldn't have been happy about the pick, but I wouldn't have hated it. I was just like, all right, you know what? This guy, I saw a lot of comparisons to Mimble and his terms of his traits and his measurables to Tristan Wirfs, who obviously is a guy that Spytek was involved with drafting in Tampa Bay. So if we did the Mimble thing, I would have understand it. I would have been like, okay, Spytek, he sees Mimble. When he looks at Mimble, he sees Tristan Wirfs as a guy. I think same deal too, where he transitioned from right tackle, eventually transitioned over to left tackle and, became one of the best left tackles in the league. So like if it was that kind of thinking behind it when we did it, I wouldn't have been mad at that. Like I said, I still wouldn't have been super happy with the pick. Just because everybody know who I prefer. I mean, in the first round, I already said my guys were Teteroa and Will Johnson. And I would have been, Kevin Banks, I'd have been all right with if we traded back. Josh Simmons, if we traded back, I would have been all right with. But just a running back in the first round, bro. It's it's just that's just organizational malpractice. Malpractice, bro. If we made Brendan Carroll the OC. Oh, bro, you guys don't know how crazy I'll go in here. You guys have no idea. I was hoping the Cowboys would score again just to really rub it in. I thought they were, but no. The only reason they didn't, and this is what comes in handy, is that Brian Schottenheimer has a relationship with Pete Carroll. They could have really just rubbed it in. They could have really just did us dirty in that situation and just put up another touchdown. We probably went back out there, went 3 and out again, and they would probably had another, and they had an opportunity for another score. But I think because Brian Schottenheimer has a relationship with Pete Carroll, he's like, you know what, I'm not going to embarrass this old man on TV, so I'm just going to just go ahead and run this clock out. Another loss. Oh, what's the news? Over. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, man. It is what it is at this point, man. It's just the same old. That's my two Aussies talking back and forth. Hey, man, don't be in there. Let me check y'all spelling. Make sure people ain't. All right, make sure. Yeah, I don't see no Euro spelling up in here. But just another embarrassing loss for embarrassing franchise. Yeah, man. Like when I saw us go for that onside kick off of a safety, That was a new low for me. That was a new low. Like I keep saying, this is the worst play since. Still, the worst play I've ever seen was we tried to run. I think we tried to run a fake kick with Sebastian Janikowski, with him like carrying the ball. That was probably like the lowest of lows for me in terms of like bad plays or embarrassing plays. But trying to go for an onside off of a safety, that was a new one for me. That was a new one for me. Josh Jacobs, 4 years, 48 million. Yeah, and thing about it is that thing about Josh Jacobs' deal is that it's a year-to-year deal. So like I think only that very first year was guaranteed, and after that it was a year-to-year deal. So at any point in time, they can just say, you know what, cut him, get out of the deal, and they just wipe their hands clean. Like, and that was a situation where Josh bet on himself, and the Green Bay put themselves in a pretty advantageous position. So like that was a I wouldn't even say win-win, because I think Green Bay won that deal, but it was a good deal for them, and I guess it was a good deal for Josh. If Josh just feels like he's going to be able to, he's going to be able, he gets the money he wants if he performs, and Green Bay they have that kind of security where if they ever feel that it's time to move on from him, they can move on from him and wash their hands clean. No dead cap. So it kind of worked out for both parties. If we win 76 maybe. I don't know what you're talking about, but no, I don't see this. I don't see us winning another game this year. I don't see us winning another game this year, man. And it is crazy. It's crazy. Like our best spots are. Then we got the Browns this Sunday. Obviously we saw how Shador struggled. So if he comes out looking the same, we have a chance there. But like I said, Myles Garrett is probably going to wreck shop, and we see what the Browns defense is capable of. And then the Giants game. But Jackson Dart is back. I'm chalking that up as a loss. Even if Jameis didn't look too bad when he was out there, to be honest with you. So even if Jameis is out there, it could still be a loss. So those are the two that kind of circled. Obviously, divisional games, always kind of wild card. I think we got the Chargers, I believe. After the Browns, I believe. I think we got the Browns, then the Chargers. So wild card game, obviously. I don't expect us to win that game, but divisional games are weird. So you always can have some crazy things happening, but I can't point to another game on the schedule where I can look at it and say, hey, you know what? That's probably a win. Shout out to King 85 per Jesse Merrick. Pete said he was heavily involved in this game plan and he wanted to throw heavily, then be up in the second half and start running the ball. Oh wow. Oh my God. I hope that's not the case, bro. I hope J.C. Merrick is mistaken. From the bottom of my heart, I hope J.C. Merrick is mistaken. And not even that I think that is a bad game plan, because like I said, the Cowboys, especially with Quentin Williams and Kenny Clark in the like, that's a different defense. I know obviously they've been one of the worst run defenses in the league, up to this point. But with Quentin Williams and Kenny Clark and Odigizua, right? Odigizua, he's a pretty good run defender as well. So with those three guys all playing together now, like that things were going to change. Things were going to change. So I didn't expect like a super run heavy attack. I thought Genty would be able to do something, right? I thought we would craft a game plan, maybe get them on the edges, and run 12, 13 personnel, try to use that to our advantage. And, he'd be able to get off at, 4 or 5 yards a pop, and be consistent. We try to do all that we can to ensure that the Cowboys offense stayed off of the field. I thought that was going to be our game plan. Obviously, that wasn't the case. So, I originally chalked it up to Chip Kelly, but if Pete Carroll got involved with this, bro, bro, that is diabolical. That is diabolical. That is diabolical. But he had several passes the first half too, and he didn't do anything with those either. So I mean, like, people were kept pining to, but that was the go-to. That was Pharaoh's go-to too. And I was on Pharaoh's. I was on kicking Pharaoh's back in too. Like, it's like as soon as we threw two passes to Genty, what did he do? Drop both of them. So it's like people want him to get involved in the pass game and give him passes and didn't do anything with him. And people are like, so it's just like he's not being effective in the run game. So why don't you get him involved in the pass game? We get him involved in the passes. Like, he can't throw him passes right there. I mean, you can't throw him passes right there. A guy they're trying to tackle him out there. Like, well, of course they're trying to tackle him. Like, this is football. Like, the guy is right there. Like, well, you know what? A lot of people that catch the ball, they just like make the guy miss, and then they like run for some more yards. Like that's actually allowed. Like I saw George Pickens do that all damn night. Like George Pickens ran harder than Ashton Jeanty did. I saw him out there making people miss, running over people. I saw their tight end Ferguson. I saw him in succession, not even like run a yard and then do it. I saw him stiff arm Jamal Adams, and then like as he's falling out of bounds, stiff arm Lonnie Johnson, like back to back. It was like pow pow. Like I was like, my God, like what's going on here? Like so it like you're allowed to do these kind of things. Like as a player that's drafted 6th overall, I wouldn't expect you to need all the space in the world to be able to make a guy miss. Like you're supposed to be able to operate in a phone booth, and you know, like he can't do it, bro. He just can't do it. I've seen him do it once. He did it in the Chargers game where he caught a pass out there and he spun off a guy, and he's a hell of a nice play. I ain't seen him do anything of that caliber since. And if you can do things one-off and you can't do it consistently, then I don't consider you having that in your bag. That's just, hey, that was a play he made. It's instinctual. You know, I haven't seen him do it again. And we gave you opportunities on the outside. We gave you a one-on-one versus a corner. And rather than lowering your shoulder, rather than putting a move on him, you ducked out of bounds, bro. And that just told me everything I need to know right there. That told me everything I needed to know right there, bro. Like, that just speaks to you. You're like when you're in those situations, like, you know, like people, it's like they're revealing, like there are certain things that reveal who a person is. And like, you know, they say like money is revealing, right? Like whenever you have money, you kind of become the person who you are. Like when you're given those opportunities and you have a chance to really just stick it to a guy right there and just really like put your foot in the ground and run a dude over, and you don't do it, that kind of tells me everything I need to know, man. And it kind of tells me, like I talked about this before. I can't remember who I talked about. I think we was talking about 805, but there are certain players who are front runners, and it seems like, you know, Geno may be that kind of player too. Like where when things are clicking and things are going well, and you know, it's like a front runner is like a streaky shooter, where like one of those guys that if they see the first one go in, oh man, it's gonna be like J.R. Smith. Like J.R. Smith is one of those guys. Anybody that watches hoop, if J.R. Smith see that first one go in, oh, you're gonna be in for a long day. You'll be in for a long night because J.R. Smith, he'll get hot and he'll just knock three threes in a row. I was like, he got 9 points on you. You like, damn, like how did this happen, brother? It's like, but he's also like, if he misses, like it's gonna be a rough shooting day for JR, because it's just like he's a front runner. Like he needs that confidence to kind of boost him up and big him up and get that adrenaline flowing. And Jeanty, when he was at Boise State and he was just dominating the lower level of competition, it was all confidence. It was all, I'm on top of the world. I'm beating my chest and I'm Michael Myers and all this stuff. And now, you know, the Silver Surfer, bro, you ain't even on the boogie board right now, bro. You know, you got floaties right now, dog. Like, this ain't no Silver Surfer, bro. You in the wade pool right now. You know, it's you doing what's the old people do? You doing fucking aquatic aerobics? What is that? What it is with the open? With Pete Carroll, you doing aquatic aerobics right now, bro? Like, it's just like you're not none of that right now, bro. And it's like if you're not bigging up, or if you're not like turning up, or if you're not being productive, then you kind of go back into your shell, and that kind of tells me like the kind of person that he is, the kind of player that he is that he needs those like big moments and those big runs. But man, once again, shout out to King 85 for the donation, man. Appreciate it. My guy, Top Beats. I don't blame Mark Davis for hiring Pete Carroll, but I will blame him if he doesn't fire Pete in spite at the end of the season. See, man, like I can't even blame him for that, bro, because you can't, even as an organization. Like I was a person, and I stood on my square with Josh McDaniels. And I got to stand on my square with this one, just in terms of the fact that you can't keep cycling through head coaches, man. Just off the politics of it alone, you can't cycle it. You can't keep cycling through head coaches. Like, his only out in this situation is that, you know, if they have a meeting with Pete and it's like, look, Pete, we're going to probably have to fire you, bro. Like, we don't want to do that to you. We don't want to embarrass you. You're an NFL legend. You know, you're going to be a future NFL Hall of Famer. You're one of only 3 coaches ever to not only win a national championship at the collegiate level, but to win a Super Bowl. And you're the only one to do it that didn't coach in that, you know, that little era with the Cowboys. And you didn't do it off the back of Jimmy Johnson's team like Barry Switzer did. Like, you did it on your own. And, you should be commended and celebrated for that. But, bruh, I will fire your ass if you don't get up out of here. I will fire you and I will embarrass you to the world if you don't take this yourself. And at that point, Pete Carroll has a decision to make where do I really want to get fired, and embarrassed like I got embarrassed kind of in Seattle. I know he took that personally. Or do I just want to walk off into the sunset? I've done everything I can as an NFL coach. I've reached the highest heights. I've won a Super Bowl. I got to coach with both of my sons on the same team. Wild. It's wild. I've got to do all of this stuff. I've got to do everything that you could do as an NFL coach, and I'm going to be in the Hall of Fame one day. Let me enjoy the rest of my time. Let me go back to teaching, or maybe go back to coaching at the collegiate level. Right there, I'm sure there are plenty of schools at the collegiate level that would love to have Pete Carroll there as a coach. He can do what he loves to do in terms of teaching, like he's doing at USC, which was another initial red flag that I had when we first hired him. But he can do that and still be a coach at the same time. I'm sure he would love that. That would be fantastic for him. It's a lot less demanding. Like it'd be great for him. It'd be great for him. But the NFL level, bro, it's not for him anymore. But I don't think we can fire him, man. I just think that might be too damaging for us, man. I think that might be too damaging for us. We years backtracked with this poor drafting. This is what it does to teams when we don't make moves in free agency too for solid players and settle for mediocrity. We're going to get that. Yeah, bro, that's the thing, bro. But see, part of that is that we have all these different players that were signed and drafted by different regimes and different philosophies to fit in different offenses, to fit in, obviously now kind of in different defenses too, because the way Pete Carroll's come in and completely changed the defense. So it's like we have these players that may be productive, like Caleb Von Chase, a perfect example, right? It's a guy that, hey, he is a good player, but he didn't fit in Pete Carroll's system. I know we talk about JB. JB's hurt all the time, but JB was our best man corner, right? But we don't play a lot of men. We play mostly zone, and he's not really that great in zone, so we got rid of him. Jack is actually pretty good in zone, and he's a guy that likes to sit back and read stuff and break on plays, and he's actually pretty good in that. I don't know what happened there. Maybe it was the whole attitude dynamic or off the field stuff. Maybe Pete didn't want to deal with that. Obviously, Pete, he has LA ties, so maybe he just knows people that knows Jack and didn't think he would be a fit for the culture of the team. I don't know what happened there, but he's a guy that, hey, give the guy a shot. Let him compete. We didn't even let him compete. So, we let a whole bunch of other guys walk. Obviously, some of those guys, it's because of the price tag on them. But, but when you have all these like, it's like we're like the land of misfit toys, where we have all these people and they all don't really work together. And we're trying to make it all fit, and the puzzle just it's not quite matching, man. So, but that's what you get when you keep changing regimes and changing philosophies, man. Like, this is our third GM, our fourth technically if you count the interim job with Champ, and if you go back to Mayock, it's even more than that. So it's like it's so many different philosophies, man, that it's just hard to build any kind of traction. When Spytek drafted undersized Genti at 6 and the deep running back, yeah, bro, like I said, bro, I don't draft running backs in the first round, bro. In the first round, and you got the deepest running back class ever, and you got holes all over your team to draft. Like, to draft him in the first round, bro, like you could have got a whole bunch of guys, bro, a whole bunch of guys, and later in the draft, man, and you got guys that are being super productive. Ollie Gordon is being productive, but Bashir Tootin, he's being productive. Obviously, Travion being productive. Quinshon's being productive, right? Like all these guys are being productive that were drafted in the later rounds of that same draft. It's like we didn't need a Genti. Do we need a better running back? Yes, we needed a better running back. This is Amir White. I thought he could be the answer after what he did that initial season. He showed last year he was not the answer. So we needed an upgrade at the position, but it didn't have to be at 6. And and we got caught up in the hype and all the accolades that there and all the praise that was being poured onto Genti and that's all we get. I don't know what we thought he was going to be, but I had questions early on, man, and it's just like at this point he's here, man. So I'm hoping he just like bursts onto the scene. I'm hoping like usually players have their biggest leap from year 1 to year 2. I'm hoping that's the situation with him. But running backs are supposed to be the position that translate the quickest, right? Saquon Barkley immediately 2,000 yards yards from scrimmage, right? Bijan made an impact immediately. Jahmyr Gibbs, I think he had 900, over 1,000 all-purpose yards, over 900 yards rushing immediately in a timeshare with David Montgomery, who I think was also like 1,000-yard rush. So it's like they saw production on these guys immediately, man. It's crazy. The best pick I hated, man. And I said at the time, and people, a lot of people, and I know a lot of Raider fans agree with me. A lot of people are like, oh man, Severe, you hating. This guy is a good player, but I never saw it. It didn't make any sense. And then when I saw the Dante Thornton pick, it kind of made more sense. Where it's like, okay, he's a possession receiver. Dante Thornton's supposed to be the deep threat, so maybe they just thought they needed more weapons underneath, as well as a guy that's deep threat. But he's not a guy I wanted, especially when we had the opportunity to get Will Johnson and we traded back. It's like, bro, what are we doing? What are we doing? I concur with this statement. Geno is indeed ass. He's terrible, man. He's terrible. And I initially didn't like the Geno signing, but then I started listening to the film guys, and he was a film darling. And film got all the film people, they loved Geno Smith. They were like, man, Geno Smith, man, you guys don't know. Oh my God, you guys just don't know what you got in Geno Smith, man. Don't let what he's doing in Seattle fool you. Like, he's much better than that, and he still was good there. Like, all the metrics, and look at the numbers and the PFF, and if you triangulate the analytics with this, and you divide by 2, and you add you carry over to 1, like, he's a top 10 quarterback. He's a top 10 quarterback, and I was like, oh man, they right. You hear this, film people? They say Geno top 10. Look at him. He's the best over the past 3 years. He's the best in terms of deep ball accuracy. He's the best in terms of big time throws. He's the best in terms of his best time. Man, we about to throw bombs over Baghdad. We about to be throwing the ball downfield to Dante Thornton and going crazy with Brown. We about to be doing all this stuff. And we did it one game. They didn't even really do it, throw the ball downfield. But we had one game where I was like, that Patriots game, I was like, man, look. And then everybody was saying, like, if it and Ellis brought it up the other day, and I remember people saying this too. It was like, man, that was Geno outdoors. He traditionally doesn't play well outdoors. Wait till you see Geno in the dome. Wait till you see Geno in the dome. And I'm like, oh, Geno in the dome? After he just did this? 360? Man, in the dome, he might put up 400. Like, I can't wait to see Geno in the dome. And then Geno played in the dome the next week, and it was ass. I was like, that's jitters. First home game, jitters. And he's been ass ever since, bro. He's been ass ever since. Except the Jags game, which is a good game. But other than that, bro, the Jags and the Titans and the Patriots game, rather, he's been ass, bro. Been ass. Shador to drop 300. Shout out to my guy 805, man. Shout out to my guy 805, man. I've been missing people in the chat, man. Shout out to my guy 805. Is that Jenny just undersized, stop running hard? I said in the beginning, Genty is not generational. Yeah, bro, he's not a generational talent, man. And that people and that's why. And what I hate about it is that when we build, like, fan bases build people up to tear them down. And and it's like, and that's, they did it to Geno. They're doing it to Geno right now. People was building Geno up, and all I kept hearing, all you would see all over Twitter is, we finally got a quarterback now. And people who was predicting us to win 6-7 games, oh, y'all crazy, man. You win 6-7 games. We got a quarterback. We got Geno Smith. We got a quarterback now. How we going to win? How we get better at running back, and we get better at quarterback, and we got a way better head coach. How you expect this to win less games than last year? And so they build these people up, and now they're tearing them down. And that's why I always try to keep it honest with you, man. Like, whether people call me a hater, call me what you want to, hey, sometimes I'm right and I'm wrong, but you're never going to hear me say something I don't believe. You're never going to hear me say, you know what, I feel this way just to appease you guys. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, bro, like, you come here for honesty, bro. You could go anywhere else and people can tell you what you want to hear. And when it doesn't happen, you can come back and they'll tell you something else. Like, I'm going to keep it real with you 100%. I'm going to keep it real with you 100% of the time. I said, and you can check my record. Check my record about the things I've said, bro. Like, I've had some misses. Like, obviously, I thought we shouldn't have drafted Brock. I was dead wrong about that. Brock proved that week 1. I saw week 1. I was like, oh, shit. I fucked up. I fucked up. It's like I was wrong on that one, right? My guy Penix. He's hurt. Looks like he has to have his ACL reconstructed. I'm wrong on that one. So I was a big fan of MPJ as a Raider, right? Like I was a big fan of drafting him, and like he's already the second year. Obviously, JJ McCarthy got hurt his first year and missed it, but the thing about Penix is that he has a history of ACL injury, so and to have it reconstructed already, man, it doesn't bode well for him. So I was dead wrong about that one. But hey, look at my take on had CJ Stroud my QB1 in that year, and that's kind of up in the air right now. That's kind of up in the air right now. But I had Jaden Daniels my number one quarterback last year. I had Dart as my third quarterback this year. I had Travion. I said Travion was my RB2. I still had Genty at 1, but I said I wouldn't draft either one of those guys in the first round. And I preferred Travion. The only reason I had him behind Genty is because he dealt with a foot injury at Ohio State. So I try to be honest with you guys. I said I wouldn't hire Pete Carroll. I said the guy I would have targeted was Mike LaFleur. I try to be as honest as possible. I said Pete was a bad hire. I don't think it was gonna work. So I said I wouldn't have drafted Jensen. I gave our draft a C+, a B-, and now that's looking generous. I said we'd win like 6 games. I said we win 9-10 if Jenny was generational, or 4 or 5 if he's Doug Martin. And we might even get to 4. We might even get to 4. And he ain't even Doug Martin. Look, him as a rookie, he ain't fucking with Doug Martin, bro. He ain't fucking with Doug Martin as a rookie. He ain't touching Doug. He ain't touching what Doug Martin did as a rookie, right? And you get to talk about circumstances and all the context. Production is what I'm looking at right now. As what he's producing as a rookie ain't touching what Doug Martin produced as a rookie. So it is what it is right now. It is what it is at this point. Yeah, man, Jonty. Gino, he's done, bro. He's done. You can tell, like you can see it in his post game pressers. He don't even believe what he's saying. He don't even believe what he's saying, bro. He is struggling right now. He is searching for answers. He's seeing ghosts because there's times where there's passes right there where the play is set up and the pass is there for him to make, and he's hesitating. He's not pulling the trigger, and it's like. I don't know if it's him and the receiver not being on the same page, him being worried that he's getting fooled again, and they're disguising coverage on him, because that's how they got him in Chicago a few times. Like, I don't know what's going on, but he's just not playing with any type of confidence right now, and it's hurting him. It's hurting him, and it's hurting the team, man. So, like, at some point, man, we gotta make a change. At some point, we gotta see somebody else. At some point, we gotta see somebody, and this is why you draft. I've been a big proponent of drafting a quarterback every year. You draft a guy every year, and you don't draft a Cam Miller, right? I didn't like Will Howard, but if you're going to draft a guy, why not take a chance on Will Howard instead of Cam Miller? Like Curtis Work, throw LS a bone, right? Take a chance on Curtis Work, LS's guy, the Canadian. I'm not cool with Canadian. I'm a Dodgers fan, so the Canadians, they've been giving me grief. But, he's a Canadian. Take a chance on the Canadian, eh? Like, just take it. Like, why? Just take a chance on those guys that played good football at, Division I, right? Not good football at North Dakota State, where you almost always have the best roster. Don't. And now the next guy is down there in the North Dakota State killing. What's his name? Peyton. Peyton is down there serving too, just like Cam was serving. So, and now people are like, man, you see this Peyton kid? See this Peyton guy? He's down here dominating. Well, of course he's dominating, bro, because he's a great athlete. But they always have the best players on their team, bro. It's not North Dakota State. They're always the better roster. Always the better roster. Chip Carroll Pete need to name need to remove. Yeah, man. Hey, yeah, security needs to walk them out the building. Take their name badges, change the codes, security walk them out the building, like check their pockets, check their locker, get them up out of here. Cal Corver was another one too. Oh yeah, Cal Corver. Yeah, Cal Corver was another one. Now, facts. JR was a bad man with Wheel on the Street. He definitely was. You feel the power course of your best. Yeah, that's how it is, bro. It's like they get the. I don't know if y'all seen the movie. Seen the movie The Last Dragon, where they get the glow. Like, bro, when you get that hot streak going, bro, they get the glow. They get the glow. They get to doing all this stuff and do and it's over for you, bro. It's over for you. That was Genty against Chicago. He had the glow. got the glow, bro. But when you don't got the glow, and know why? Part of the reason why he got the glow, because we were getting him the ball, and he was running. He get 5-6 yards without getting touched. And he at that point, it's like, I'm Superman today. Can't nobody fuck with me. And none of y'all like, right? So he's feeling himself, you know. So when you start feeling yourself, bro, you start doing stuff you never thought you could do. You be in there like, oh man, you know, like you are anybody that hoop or have athletics, bro. If you when your confidence on point, oh, bro, you doing stuff you never thought you could do before. You doing stuff, you know, or the people, or you know, if you're a gamer, you play Call of Duty and you get on a little kill streak. Now, I've never played these. I never played Call of Duty, full disclosure. But I know people talk about the kill streaks. But if you get like a nice little momentum going in your kill streak, you feel you can't be touched. You feel you can't be touched out there. You out there sniping people long distance. You out there. You don't even need your gun. You just run up and stabbing people and getting these CQC kills, man. So you out there just doing your thing. So that's how it be, bro. When you get that confidence going, bro, it's a wrap. It's a wrap, man. It's a wrap. Francis the Sith. I'm lost on this Raider team, bro. We all are, bro. This Raider team is lost on themselves, bro. They're lost on themselves, man. It's just bad from top to bottom. I don't think it'd be great, bro. He's not shown me anything that says he will be great. He doesn't possess a single great trait that I've seen him deploy consistently at the NFL level, right? He's not explosive. He's not quick. He has good vision, not great vision, but good vision on occasions. I think he has better vision, it seems, on outside runs than inside runs. He has good maneuverability, you know, in small quarters. I think he has nice feet, but he's not overly shifty. So like he doesn't have that. Like his break tackle ability is supposed to be his strongest trait, but I've seen him tackle by one guy far too many times for me to say it's great. It's good, but I can't quantify it as great. So when you're a smaller guy, you're not overly fast, you're not overly powerful, you're not shifty, you're not a great pass catcher, you're not great in pass pro. Like your vision is good, not great. It's like what in that equation? Unless you're Emmitt Smith, where like the sum of the parts just are greater than the parts themselves, right? Where it's just like, it's like it's got that synergy going to him, where it's like, this guy shouldn't be as good as he is, and he just is. Almost like a Tyrann Mathieu. It's like, man, this guy, like Tyrann Mathieu shouldn't be this good, but damn, like this dude is just good. He's just good. Like you can't quantify why he's good. He's just good. So like, but I don't see that with Genty. I don't see that with him. So I'm hoping he proves, because right at this point he's on our team. So his success is our success. So at this point, I want him to do well, but there's nothing I've seen that tells me he is now or will ever be a great running back. I think he'll be a good running back. I think he'll be a guy that'll be productive. He'll put up some 1,000-yard seasons. He'll have, he's produced touchdowns. We put him in some great positions to produce some touchdowns. I think he'll produce touchdowns, but I don't think he'll ever be a guy that's like, man, this guy is a franchise back. I look at the stuff Bijan Robinson is doing. I'm just like, or Jonathan Taylor's doing. I'm just like, oh my God, this is ridiculous. Yeah, or even Travion, like the past, right? Took Travion 2 games. Took Travion 2 games. 2 games as a starter, or I think it's the third game. So three games technically, to be fair. It was 3 games as a starter. But 2 games where he really like got the full on opportunity to be the guy to surpass or to damn near surpass Genty, in every statistical category. And people were saying, oh, but this guy, come on, it's Drake May. You got Drake May's offensive line. Well, two things. Instead of drafting a running back in the first round, they elected to draft a tackle, right? They were supposed to have one of the worst receiving corps in the league, and that's what we were saying prior to week 1. Oh, they're receiving corps. We ain't worried about anybody over there, right? And so people was, well, they have better weapons. Okay, well, they did. Most of the weapons they have right now are guys they acquired this past offseason. Diggs was the offseason acquisition. Kyle Williams was the guy they picked up. So a lot of these weapons they didn't have before, so they did it this offseason as well. And then, Ramondre Stevenson wasn't doing the things that Travion is doing. So it can't all just be the surroundings around him. Some of it has to be him. So, and he's just taking advantages of opportunities that are there that other guys weren't. And I don't see Genty doing that on a consistent basis. I don't see him taking advantage. Like, and it's not like it's consistently where he's just always missing holes. But when there are opportunities there, he's not maximizing them. And when you're a guy that's supposed to be special or generational or great or elite or any of those superlatives that people try to hoist on him, you got to do those things. You got to do those things. And I don't see Genty doing those things nearly consistent enough. Especially as a 6 overall pick. Yeah, bro, I try to keep it real, man. Like I said, like people try to trash talk me. Like, I mean, I think Super Omicron was in here, before Travion went off. He was like, Travion hasn't done a damn thing yet. And I was like, yeah, you know what? You damn right. Like, Travion, he ain't been good this year. Like, he ain't even really got no carries. He ain't been good in pass pro. I think he had a fumble against us. Like, he just saying he wasn't good. And then he got the opportunity, and then it was off like a rocket. From your point of view, how can this franchise turn around starting next year? Man, we got to address the trenches, man. Like, we have to address the trenches. Like, that's like both sides of the line of scrimmage. Like, everything is, you got to build for, like, when we had success, this team had great offensive lines. Reggie McKenzie, he made that a priority to draft offensive line. Picking up Donald Penn and throwing him at left tackle. Obviously, we had the Gabe Jackson, the Rodney Hudson, Kelechi Osemele, right? And then, we had a host of guys at right tackle. But, like those other 4 guys solidified, right? They were solidified. Those were our guys. So, like, that's what we did, right? And then obviously on the other side of the ball, obviously Khalil Mack was wrecking shop. So, like, when we invest in the trenches, that's when we do good as a franchise, right? Invest in the trenches. We can worry about the skill position players. We got to be smart about how we draft them and how we address them, but, like, we got to prioritize the trenches. And I know it's not sexy. And I'm usually not a guy that likes drafting, especially offensive linemen, because it's just, it's not exciting for you. It's not exciting for you because you don't always understand the contributions that they make, because when an offensive lineman is doing their job, you don't mention their name. So they're oftentimes unsung heroes, but they're so important, man. And I find myself, guilty of it as well, where I see the shiny object there. Like, even I always told you before disclosure this last draft, I said my guys were Tetaroa and Will Johnson. Like, did I think we needed to address the offensive line this offseason? No, so I thought, what we did kind of toward the end of last year with that group of guys, especially with JPJ at center, Meredith at guard, even Parham at right guard, Glaze at right tackle. Like, I thought that was enough. I thought that was good enough for us to, hey, what we saw, what we were able to do down the stretch in terms of Amir Abdullah was being productive in the run game. Sincere had some success in the run game. So I was like, you know what? We have a nice little foundation, right? Is Parham, do we maybe need to address that down the line? Possibly, right? Or do we need to draft maybe a right tackle and kick Glaze inside? Possibly. But, hey, what I saw down the stretch, I thought that was good enough. But now, what I'm seeing now, we got to do something. We need some blue chip players up there. We need some blue chip players on the defense side of the ball, on the defensive line as well. Love Adam Butler, but we got to have, like, a legit another pass rusher there. Like, I think Laulu, I think he has potential as well, but we need another guy. Thomas Booker is on a milk carton. Thomas Booker was this great player that was going to do all these great things with the Eagles. And has anybody said the name Thomas Booker for weeks? Have you heard anybody in Raider Nation just say Thomas Booker at all? At all? Like, when's the last time you heard any Raider podcast, any Raider fan, any Raider beat writer, any Raider anybody say the name Thomas Booker? Anybody? That tells you all you need to know right there. It tells you all you need to know right there. So, like, we need more. We need more. We need better. And right now it's not good enough, man. Obviously, you got to identify the right coaching staff. Like, ideally, Pete Carroll, as I said, he walks off into the sunset, and you hire. The ideal situation is that you get a young offensive mind, but that doesn't always happen, right? That's not always feasible, because this job might not just be attractive enough, especially with our track record of firing these guys. So you might have to zig, or you might have to zig while everybody else is zagging, right? You might have to go defensive guy. I know Shula Farrell's a guy that he likes Shula with the Rams. He's kind of doing a lot. He's not a lot of money invested into that side of the ball, but they're doing quite well there. Brian Flores is a name that's going to be bandied about. What'll be interesting is that if you get Brian Flores over here, maybe you get a high level OC, maybe a guy off the Minnesota staff, because he has some ties to some guys there in Minnesota. I don't know. I don't remember who their OC is or who their QB coach is, but maybe you do something like that. Maybe if you do Brian Flores, maybe if you get Brian Flores, you get a guy like Mike McDaniel, or I think Daboll is getting some looks from colleges, but Brian Flores, Daboll, they're both ex-Patriot guys. Maybe if you get Brian Flores, you get you bring in a guy like Daboll as OC, like you could see that possibly happening. So there's a world of possibilities. But like I said, how we've handled the head coach position, it doesn't make us that attractive of a destination. So it's going to be hard. Gino needs to give up this meaningless fantasy of thinking he could still be a quarterback in the NFL. It might just be that. It might just have to he might just be past his prime. You might sometimes you hear about fighters. Anybody that likes boxing, sometimes you hear about fighters, like sometimes they get just old overnight, right? And you never you're like, man, the guy was just he looked great last fight. I don't know what happened in this fight, right? And sometimes it just happens. Father Time is undefeated. Sometimes it just happens fast. And, it could be a situation where it just happened for Geno fast, right? Where it just, he was kind of rolling. And I'm going to say it happened fast because last year he had a little bit of a down year with Seattle. We attribute it to other things, but, maybe that was just a sign of things to come. And we're just taking the Brennan of that. Yeah, I know Curtis Rook was your guy, bro. You guys know how I feel about Curtis Rook, but if it was between Curtis Rook and Cam Miller, I'm going Cam. I'm messing. I'll go Curtis Rook, but begrudgingly go Curtis Rook in that situation. Genty won't get a second contract with the Raiders, and you know what? And it's not even a Genty thing, right? Josh Jacobs didn't get a second contract with us. Saquon didn't get a second contract with the Giants. Like a lot of these guys don't get second contracts. A lot of these first round picks, rather, they don't get the second contracts with their original drafted team. I think the only guy running back that had been drafted in the first round recently that wasn't already on a different team was Bijan. And and that's because Bijan hadn't exhausted his rookie contract yet. So obviously Bijan is going to probably be kept where he's at. Obviously Jameer as well, but of all those guys, all those guys were on different teams, right? Bijan was the only guy that had still remained on his original team. So it just happens to be that way, man. It just happens to be that way. My guy 805, too many drinks tonight. I was yelling at the TV too much. Yeah, man, this was a frustrating night, man. It's a frustrating night, man. But I'm about to call it. I'm gonna try to get through some of these other chats. Spy Tech already sold us the bullshit of him prioritized trenches. And like I said, man, I don't know if that was mailing from Pete Carroll, man. How many playoff teams the last few years had bad units in the trenches? None of them. But another thing, though, I'm going to say this, and this is something I've also harped upon too, and I'm kind of going against it this year just because I'm kind of iffy on the crop of quarterbacks. I think there was only one team in the playoffs last year that had a quarterback that wasn't drafted in the first round. And I can't remember who it was. Oh, I think it was Jalen. Jalen Hurts. Might have been one other thing, but for sure Jalen Hurts. I think that might have been the only that was the only team in the playoffs last year that had a quarterback that wasn't drafted in the first round. And part of the reason why the Eagles are so good and they're able to do that because they invested heavily in the trenches on both sides of the football. So maybe those two things coincide. But all the other teams that have teams in the playoffs or that were in the playoffs last year, that quarterback drafted in the first year. I think the year before that, it was the same situation. Except I said maybe the year before that, it might have been Dak and Jalen the year before that, if I recall correctly. But generally, 90% of the quarterbacks that are in the playoffs are guys that were drafted in the first round. Is it a coincidence? Can't be. My guy Ellis. I'm about to dip for the super. I got the super chat. we got to go offensive with the next head coach. Nail that top 3 pick. Atlanta pick is God. Even if it means we've got to move up, that's the only way anybody's taking this job or taking us seriously as an option. Yeah, man. I just hate the prospect of moving. That's why we got to just lose out. I don't want to move up. I really just don't want to move up because we have so many holes to fill on this team. I just hate the thought of having to move up to do it. But if they see a guy that, like, especially a quarterback, if they fall in love with a quarterback and they feel they want to move up, I won't begrudge them for doing it. Like, man, like, you look at what the Texans were able to do. That was just Trey Magnifique. When they were to trade Deshaun Watson, get a first round pick, draft CJ Stroud, and trade up to number 3 and get Will Anderson. Now you got guys you feel are your cornerstones on each side of the ball for the foreseeable future, or do what the Browns were able to do. And obviously the Browns are stinging it up this year, but they got hella first round picks. I think the Rams got 2 first round picks. They got the Falcons pick. Oh my God, that's going to be a top 10 pick for sure because Penix is hurt, and I think Drake London is hurt too. So it's all these other teams making just willing and dealing, man. Making Les Snead is a shrewd operator, man. That dude he's done it in several different ways too. He's been the F them picks guys. Now his team is built almost all through the draft. He's just doing it the right way, man. I commend him. Yeah, man. Oh man, Roy Jones, man. Roy Jones is all athleticism though. He is all athleticism. Yeah, like when you're like all athleticism and like talent, that you age out. That's why Bernard Hopkins was able to fight forever, because he was just skilled. He was a super skilled, savvy, high ring IQ, great ring generalships, good defense. Like, that was him. Same with what's my guy that was my guy? Dang, my guy that did the Philly shell. What's my guy's name? Dang, black. Oh, I say black guy. Obviously, most of do the Philly shell are black guys, but he fought Bernard. Damn, I forget my guy's name, man. I think he was from Detroit. Dang, I can't think of his name. I can't think of his name right now. I'm gonna think of it soon. Gino Ben asked, he had no prime. Yeah. I mean, it's not a lie. I mean, he had those 2 really good years in Seattle, but for the most part, he's never really been good. He's a reclamation project. Put him out the pasture. Yeah, it's about that time. I'm glad we lost today. Never thought I would say that ever in my life, but fuck this team. Yeah, bro. At this point, that's shit, bro. Like, I don't get. That's why I know a lot of people, they just get attached to like wins and losses, and like, bro, like, we've been losing for so long. Like how can like people get mad about the prospect of us not doing everything possible to win games in order to secure better draft position to help us win games in the future? We've been losing trying to win. So why don't we just like, I'm not, like I said, I would never tell a player to not give their all, but I would just play young people. Play young guys, keep Geno Smith out there, right? Play young guys and keep Geno Smith at quarterback, and let the chips fall where they may, right? And let Chip keep calling the plays like he wants to. Let Pete Carroll keep influencing the game plan. Like, keep doing all that stuff. And it's going to happen for us. Nobody thought we'd be staring down the barrel of 2 wins this late in the season. Nobody before the year. And I've seen all the roster, all the people going through the season schedule. And I'm going to go back and look at some of those, because I know some people, it's a win right here. This game, win. The Chargers at home, win. Indianapolis, blowing them out. Like, people were doing all that stuff. And it's like, I thought the Indy win. I thought we had that in the bag too. But like, other than that, like, it wasn't a lot of wins I thought would be secure. But a lot of people, man, there you go, man. James Toney. James Toney, man, is another guy. James Toney fought a long time, because he was good, great defense, man. The Philly shell, and I mean, I love that dude, man. That dude was a monster. But let me get this last chat in here, man. I was fine with either outcome, which is sad because I never want to lose. The Cowboys at this point doesn't matter. Better draft. Yeah, bro. Like, I tell people all the time. I'll finish off with this. I tell people all the time, bro. There's no team in the NFL I hate more than the Cowboys for a multitude of reasons. But I hate the Cowboys with the passion. I still like my favorite win in recent years. A lot of people point to that Christmas Day game. But my favorite game recently that we won, it ain't necessarily recently, but was the Thanksgiving Day game against the Cowboys. Oh my God, I had a Cowboys fan. I was at a family's house. There were some Cowboy fans there, and they were jawing. And I was just like, all right, you gonna get yours. And when we won, oh, they didn't hear the end of it. And I don't even drink, and I don't drink. So I'm just a sober shit talker. I talk a hella shit as a sober person. So I was just jawing all day. Like it got to the point they were getting mad because I wouldn't stop because I had to hear it the entire day. So it'd be like that. But oh man, you were at that Thanksgiving game, man. That was a hell of a game, man. That was a hell of a game. I think Deshaun. I think he scored that game. I think somebody had a pick. Who had a pick? Some like obscure ass player had an interception that game. We've been awful for so long. Who gives a damn about winning this year? People acting like they can't handle another 6 losses. We've done nothing but lose. Yeah, man, exactly, man. We've been losing at least 6 games a year for forever, bro. Like we've been losing at least 6 games a year forever. Like we've been like at the bare minimum 6. Like if we lose, well, I don't think we've been, since 2016. I don't think there's been a time we lost less than 6 games. So like we just keep losing. So that's why I don't care about a few losses now. Like bro, it happens. I want to build for the future, man. I want to actually have a solid foundation for us to build something on that's going to last and be sustainable. And we keep trying to do this reload thing instead of just complete tear down and rebuilding, and it hasn't worked, man. And what do you call it when you keep doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result? Call that being a Raiders fan. All right, y'all. I'm out. Peace.